and our first main topic today is this. The new It series, Welcome to Derry is what I believe it was called, right? Yes, yeah. Welcome to Derry, I'm sorry. Has picked its showrunners. We had heard a little bit about this towards the end of when It Chapter 2 came out. I wasn't the hugest fan of It Chapter 2. It was a huge letdown for me, and it wasn't a great movie, especially considering how it was so good, right? At that time, we hadn't had any very good horror movies like that in a while, so it was so nice to have it. But then Chapter 2 just kind of killed the whole thing for me, and I could give a damn about any of this, honestly, at this point. But that being said, it's still movie news, and we're reporting on it. So here, this is coming to us from the guys over at Collider. Again, yeah, it looks like Jason, as I was calling him earlier, fucks, but it could be Jason Futches. I don't know. And Fuchs, sure. And Brad Caleb Kane have been tapped to run this, and I'll read a little bit of the article here. It says, last March, audiences were shocked and intrigued to learn, count me in this group, that HBO Max was developing a prequel series for It, Stephen King's iconic 1986 horror novel titled Welcome to Derry. Now Variety is reporting that the series has found its showrunners in the duo of Jason Fuchs and Brad Caleb Kane. The series is reported to be set in the same continuity as It Chapter 1 and It Chapter 2, released in 2017 and 2019, respectively. Not much is known about the plot of the series yet, but it is expected to explore the history of Derry, Maine. Derry is the town in the book where the film is set, which has a long history of being terrorized by Pennywise the Clown. As revealed in recent movies, Pennywise first arrived in Derry in 1715 via an asteroid, which is really cool. Kind of opens you up to a lot of storytelling. It'd be really interesting to see how he manipulated kids back then. It had to be a lot easier, right? Since then,
yeah, for sure.
Right?
And I wonder if they'll lean into like I know John Wayne Gacy, I think, was more like the 70s, but
sure,
you know what I mean,
right?
That kind of the hysteria,
right.
Naivete.
But yeah, it says since then Pennywise reemerges about every 27 years, you know, some Jeepers Creepers shit, to terrorize the children of Derry, feeding on them until it's time to hibernate again. With hundreds of years of town history to explore, it's anyone's guess where the story will go. Okay, well, I will say this. Like I said, I feel like there's a lot you could do here. Since he got there in 1715, like I said, that was a long time ago. Like half of what we have in the infrastructure of the world that we know didn't even exist. So it's pretty crazy.
2019 that It 2 came out, right?
Yes. Yeah. But he arrived in Derry in 1715. I mean, we weren't even an established, we didn't even become independent until 1776 as a nation, right? So he was here before, he was here like cowboy and Indians, or even before that maybe. So that would be interesting to see him manipulate an Indian tribe or something like that. But my point is you could do do a lot with this. It would be very interesting to see how he was too when he first got here and how he's evolved, because that's a lot of time, right? Even if he only came out every 25 years, that's still like, you know, a handful of times that he's been out and experiencing different stuff that's going on in our evolution too, right? And then it makes him have to evolve. That's why I said, you know, when I first brought it up, what was it like manipulating the children then? It probably had to be a lot easier, right? Because you didn't have video games and Netflix and internet and all the shit, radio, even as time evolved, you know? So he probably had to evolve himself as time did, to keep up, you know, with being able to manipulate them with his tricks and his, you know, his stuff like that. But yeah, so I think there's a lot you could do with this. It did shock me when they announced this, but it looks like they're moving forward with it. They have their showrunners picked. Lucas, you're hearing this. Tell me what you think about it, buddy.
So a couple things. Is Bill Skarsgård coming back?
I would say probably not.
Not?
I mean, it's a series on HBO. Does he want to?
Well, I mean, but listen, it wouldn't be like the first time that, because like Colin Farrell is gonna
Sure.
do, yeah,
Sure. But
I bet he would want to. I mean, I bet he loves that role.
But that Penguin show is coming off of a huge success.
Fair.
Yeah.
I mean, it won.
So it would make sense.
Well,
Yeah.
regardless, Andy Machete, I think, is executive producer for it, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I would like to see it with Bill Skarsgård, and it would feel a little weird without it. Unless they got like Tim Roth,
Tim Curry
to do
yeah,
it.
That'd be hilarious.
Other than that, though, I'm very curious to see where this story goes. I didn't totally like prior to this. I didn't really put it all together until you were just talking now. But it does go back to like 1750, and it's Derry, Maine, right?
Right, for sure.
So it's one of the first colonies.
Right, for sure.
So 1750, I know,
1715.
Oh, even better.
Right.
Some of the first settlements, right? Like
that's what I'm saying, like the Indians and shit.
So it's almost like he came over with the Europeans, right? And so I'd
see that's something you could play on it, right?
That's what I'm saying. And then even more so, my mind was like, every 27 years then since 1715, like if they kept a solid track of that, and we could even do it now. You get like into like Civil War times, right? And what part he played in that, and man, if they do this right, do it well, man, this sounds like it could be awesome,
right? Because there's a lot you could do with it, right?
Right. Well, and there's a lot of, with Stephen King's Pennywise, or with with the it in the book too, it's supposed to be almost like a representation of evil, his manifestation of fear or whatever.
What?
Like the spider versus the turtle. Yeah. So I'd be.
That's kind of my point earlier, is that fear evolves, right? And it evolves so much that he has to evolve to now. Because, in 1700s, it's probably a lot easier to manipulate or scare a child. Where, I've seen Halloween and Saw when I was 5, so it's a lot harder to scare me the way you could scare a kid.
You got to change with the times, for sure.
You got to evolve.
But what I was going to say is, are the times changing with him, though? Is it every 27 years he comes back, just drops a bomb, you know what I mean? And almost in a twisted way, if they really do trace it all the way there, maybe they almost lean into the fact that with this fear and the human's response to it, right, that's part of what's helped them grow, because we learn through tragedy and we learn through trauma.
Right.
And we grow through fear, facing fear. And
for sure.
So, man, if there's a lot of potential here.
Yep.
I'm getting kind of goosebumps
I
talking
agree.
about this.
I agree. Lots of potential. Awesome. And we'll see where it goes. But yeah, guys, you're hearing this information. The showrunners have been selected for this Welcome to Derry series. Tell us down in the comment section below what you guys are thinking. Are you guys excited? Not excited? Definitely let us know down in the comment section below.